Okay, let's just kick this off with a little disclaimer. I do not profess to be a unit test expert. However, I do find that this approach is very helpful. Please feel free to reach out to me with any comments. I am always open to constructive criticism. Now let's get into the basic format of how this video is going to work. My overall goal for this is to keep this platform agnostic, meaning you're not going to have to worry about the specific language that's being used. That being said, you should be able to use something very similar to this in your programming language of choice. The specific syntax may vary, but probably not by much. For this video, I'll be using Swift code.
Oh, God. Fantastic!
And since not everyone is familiar with Swift, I'm going to err on the side of being more verbose in the examples. So for any of my fellow Swifties that are watching, there's no need to be all, "Well, actually, my good chap, you don't need to explicitly declare the data type for that variable. Swift is smart enough to know exactly what you mean." Okay, so what is a unit test? Webster's defines unit test as... Okay, it's a test of your code. And there are like a gajillion Google searches that will tell you that. We all know that we should write them, but many times we don't. So why bother? Well, it fixes bugs quickly and produces a higher quality of code. While all these reasons and dozens more are all valid, it doesn't really motivate the individual developer to prioritize them. Okay, smart guy. Why should I as the individual developer blah 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 blah? An excellent point. So why should you care? What's in it for you? How will it benefit you?
Boy, that escalated quickly.
Here are 5 reasons why unit tests are good for you, the individual developer. As mentioned before, it's a fast way to isolate bugs and fix them quickly and easily. This may happen during the development cycle or in response to an edge case that showed up in production code. So rather than a fix it and forget it mentality, it stands as a marker for future devs to understand past issues. It's a verifiable way to make sure that your code behaves how you expected. Before compiling and running code, you can verify that it's working the way you want, rather than waiting to tap through a long series of screens with logins and other interactions. Which brings us right to the next point. Unit testing can help you validate multiple paths or branches. This can be when there are switch case or if-else statements with different outcomes depending on API responses or user interaction. Manually testing these branches can be difficult, especially when these paths are hard to reproduce. Unit testing can act as a contract between you and the code. It's like a packing list for a delivery company. Your code says one thing, but the test proves that you are shipping it. A customer shouldn't have to open the package to make sure that everything is in there. And the final benefit to you, the individual developer, is that it acts as documentation for every file that you write a test for. Picture being a new dev on a project, or having to utilize a class written by another dev in your current project. Imagine how nice it would be to open up the test file and read an overview of what the heck this thing is supposed to do!
Great. I think I got it, but just in case, tell me the whole thing again, I wasn't listening.